Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Paranormal True Crimes. Welcome, Rebecca, Brian, Aussie Sue, Catherine, the Nana Boss. Had me in stitches yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, this is for entertainment purposes only. All parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Remember, we always have to say that. So today, you can begin a read show. So this case that was sent in for Daniel Robertson was from a guest, a watcher that's always in her chat. Sent it to me about a week and a half ago and wanted me to take a look at this case, and I decided to do it. A couple of reasons why I did. It was very strange. Hey, Crazy Witch. Summer Jones, yes, absolutely. Summer Jones is the one that sent it in with the other ones, and this is the one that I actually did pick. Uh, because of this case, there were other remains found that hopefully that gave closures to other families. So we'll go into that too. But this case goes back to September 2021. So it's a few years old. But there's a lot of questions involved in this case, like there are other cases, right? Where there are some red flags and some things that doesn't make sense. And I don't want anybody to jump to conclusions when we start going over things because young men do act in crazy ways when they think or they are in love, right? Or they get falling in love or fall in love with people. So we know that men do, and so do women. And I don't want to single anybody out or the sex out, one or the other. Hey, Kimmy and Gary, welcome. Roger and Standing Stones out or anybody, but people do ignorant things when they think they are in love, and sometimes they may get themselves in trouble. So, with that being said, we all been in that predicament where maybe we shouldn't have done that, or maybe sent that text, or had too much to, liquid courage and sent that text, right? Or oops, or maybe I shouldn't have said something, or whatnot. You know where I'm going with that. So we'll leave that be, right? So, I've got a timeline. Now the police report, there's a couple of them out there that is public where you can go out there online and actually, hey Debbie, welcome to the show, everybody. You can actually go out there and look. And there's two different types of police reports. There's one police report about the missing person, and there's another police report which we're going to go into about an incident about where I was talking about how people can go a little too far. Hey, Kimmy, welcome to the show. When they actually have feelings for the opposite sex or another person. So just keep that in mind because things take turns and twists. So, Exhibit A. So, here is and I always like to give credit to people. Let me bring this article up in front of me here. And this is from the Insider. And I can't scoot it over on my screen. Bear with me. I may have to use my finger here. My touch screen. This is from the Insider from Rebecca Cohen and Katie Bevelock, September 28, 2021, at 5:21 p.m. EDT time. Okay. This is what Daniel Robertson looks like. 24 years old. That's his vehicle. So Daniel Robertson, 24-year-old, he is a geologist, has been missing for over 3 months. And this was back then, and this was since June 23rd. Okay, this is when this electronic newspaper came out. Daniel Robinson is a 24-year-old geologist living in Arizona, has been missing for over 3 months. The Buckeye Police Department continued to search for the young man who went missing in late June. According to Robertson's family, he never went more than 6 hours without speaking to his family or without telling someone where he was going. When they haven't heard from him at least that long, they knew something was wrong. Now, Robinson's father, David Robinson II, told CNN he also claimed that local law enforcement initially took a long look at the case and think there was nothing there quick enough, or didn't think they didn't take a quick action or quick enough, he said, whatever, from the day that I arrived in Phoenix, Arizona. So evidently he was out of state to find more than what the law enforcement agency, jurisdictional authority, covers when he last seen where his vehicle was recovered. So evidently they found the vehicle, but he was not in it. Robertson last was seen on June 23rd, leaving his job in Buckeye, Arizona. Leaving a job site near Sun Valley Parkway, Cactus Road on June 23rd. Since his disappearance, the Buckeye Police Department has worked with outside agencies and searched more than 70 square miles in efforts to locate Daniel. Investigators utilize UTVs, cadaver dogs, air support, including drones, helicopters. Buckeye PD said in a statement on September 16th. You can click on that and find more information. Robertson's about 5'8" and 150 pounds. According to a GoFundMe page set up by his family members to help finance efforts to find him, he has dark brown eyes, black hair, was born without a right hand. Make note of that. Robinson's co-worker said he was acting strange the morning of his disappearance. Now, take note of this. When Robinson's arrived at work at 9 a.m. on June 23rd, he met up with Kenneth, which is a co-worker, who allegedly told Buckeye police he was acting strange. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what does strange mean? Is strange to me can be many different things. What was his norm? That's what I want to know. According to the police report, Robinson was saying things that did not make sense, like asking Kenneth if he wanted to go home to Phoenix to rest. About 15 minutes of this, he waved goodbye and abruptly left the work site where the pair was located. Kenneth contacted Steve, the project manager, who said no one from the company who had heard or seen Robinson throughout the day. Around 3 p.m., Kenneth was made aware that Robinson had not been located and was not responding to texts and calls from work and family. At that point, Ken started to look for Robinson in the desert. Follow the tracks, he said. Robinson's near the work site. Robinson's was last seen. Heading west, he tried to locate Robinson as he drove further into an extremely large desert area. Police then searched the area for hours with no success. Now, Robinson's dad said all the pictures from his Instagrams were deleted shortly after his disappearance. Now, this is a clue. Why would somebody delete all his pictures from Instagram. Buckeye Police Department instructed Robinson II to check his son's social media pages on June 24th. Robinson II, which is his dad, confirmed to police that all of his photos on his son's Instagram has been deleted since his disappearance. Here you can see he's missing his digit there. He's out in the desert. Robertson's friends and family report odd behavior in the weeks leading up to his disappearance. Now, take note of this. Now, this is where I said in the beginning, right? Where things can take a twist and a turn and things can happen. According to the police report, which it's available online, you can actually go to a couple of Google sites and media sites, and it's out there. Some of it's redacted. When I say redacted, it's blacked out because the case is still open. According to the police report, multiple Robertson's friends and family members and a waitress at a Waffle House he had visited 2 days before he disappeared reported odd behavior leading up to his disappearance. Most commonly, he was described as being off. And it's weird how they put off in quotations, right? Now, when somebody does that, describe to me what off means. I don't understand. I want more details. On the same day, he had texted his sister that he had an emergency, but neglected to answer any of her calls in response, according to the police report. Robinson's sister also said that one time he went over to her apartment, he sat in silence for 30 minutes before getting up and leaving. So clearly, by reading this statement, sister also said one time, excuse me. So at one time, he sat there for 30 minutes. So we excuse me. I can't mute my mic. So we know at one time that he had something evidently that was weighing on his heart, it seemed like, very heavily, I'm assuming, and something on his mind. Now, this is just going off of reading a newspaper article and also looking at some of the police reports. I'm just making an assumption. I do not know the facts because I was not there. But when somebody sits there for 30 minutes and sitting in silence, that means there's either something wrong or they are in deep concentration and worried about something or being bothered or something. Who knows? But something's going on, all right? His told that up to his disappearance, Robson told him that he met a woman. Key word, woman. And was in love with her. Robinson II, which was his dad, is his dad, found this strange since his son did not appear to know anything about this woman. It is strange. A co-worker told police that Robinson had mentioned something about a girl, specifically about wanting a woman he liked and couldn't have. He liked and couldn't have, but overall wasn't making sense when he was talking about her. Robinson made contact with the woman prior to his disappearance, according to the police report. Robinson was an Instacart delivery person, so evidently he was like one of those people that delivers groceries or whatever you call those people delivers food, right? So she invited him into her home when he arrived at the delivery because he seemed friendly, she told police. I mean, she ordered some groceries or something. So after exchanging phone numbers, so they must have had a good conversation. So they exchanged phone numbers, it says. After exchanging phone numbers, Robinson showed up and after her home announced a few times. So he went back at her house unannounced and showed up a few times. Didn't even let her know that he was coming over. And then he told her he loved her. Okay. Now, this is according to the police report. She asked him to stop contacting her, and he didn't. So this is where I said where people, unfortunately, sometimes make mistakes. How many times, ladies and gentlemen, have we gotten maybe too friendly with somebody just because we're that type of person and people picked up the wrong vibes, right? Who knows? We weren't there. So, but I don't know. But evidently something happened because she filed a police report, evidently, allegedly. On July 19th, police recovered Robinson's car. A Jeep belonged to Robinson's found in a ravine on July 19th, about 4 miles from where he was last seen, according to CNN. The police department said his car sustained significant damage. Robinson's cell phone, wallet, keys, and clothes were all found at the scene with his car. Police said foul play is not expected, but Robinson's family thinks otherwise. It didn't sit right with me, his dad said when he told CNN, Brian Keller. Robinson's dad hired his own private investigator to help with the case. Evidence shown that Robinson was wearing a seatbelt at the time of the car crash, NBC 12 News reported. Now, I want to know, how do you get that information? Was it a black box in the car that's telling you that the seatbelt was buckled during impact? So how do you come up with that evidence? I like to know that. Does the car computer tell you that? So then it says this looks like a stage event to me, said accident reconstructionist and a private investigator Jeff McGrath told NBC 12 News. After the airbags came out, somebody turned the ignition over at least 46 more times. Aha. That's an additional 11 miles on the car. There's also an additional 11 miles on the car. So that tells me the car was driven around after the crash. So there we go. There are some pictures there. I don't know how well you can see them, but there's some arrows. There's some news press release, Buckeye Police Department. You can go to their website. You can click on it and see the vehicle that's been rolled over. So evidently, they did tap into the vehicle's computer. So I was right. So the computer inside the vehicle gave them information. Local police conducted multiple searches in the first month of Robinson's disappearance. Buckeye Police Department said leading up to finding Robinson's car, they conducted 4 ground searches and 2 aerial searches. And to find the car, they conducted 2 more ground searches and 12 News. Later, a human skull was found, but was confirmed not to be Robinson's. Police later found a human skull near the site of the crash on July 31st, but it confirmed not to belong to Robinson. No additional human remains have been found, despite all reports claiming otherwise, the department says. Now, I have looked into this, and there has been claims of other skeleton remains found, and they have said they're not his. So is this fake news? The Robinsons family called for answers. The desert search for Robinson has led to recovery of close to 5 or 6 human remains in the area we searched. What did it belong to other missing persons? And what did we just read? It just contradicted itself. No additional human remains have been found, despite online reports you proclaim other. Now here we go. So I was right. So here we go. 5 or 6 human remains were found. So I guess it wasn't fake news. It's been over 2 months with no leads or evidence towards Daniel's disappearance, as well as failed tracking of his vehicle and phone GPS location that can determine exactly what happened that day, his father said on a website dedicated to find Daniel. The family of Daniel has offered a $10,000 reward for information that helps to find Robertson. They also set up a GoFundMe at the time, back in 2021, is nearly $130,000 to assist with search costs. David Scholar said he wished his son's case got as much national attention as Gabby Petit's. On September 23rd, Robertson's dad told CNN that his sympathy for the family, Petit or 20-year-old, I'm sorry for butchering her name, been for several days, for she was found deceased near Grand Trenton National Park on September 19th, but with his son, who is African American, had much more national attention. It's sad, I don't know why some cases, do not get attention than others. I'm sorry that it happens. My heart goes out to the family members and friends. You wish you lived in a world where everything was equal, but it's really not equal, he told CNN. He says it's hurtful to see other cases involve so-and-so who was a young white woman receiving national attention. Well, he's been searching for his son for months. Anyone with any information relating to Robinson is urged to call Buckeye Police Department at 623-349-6400. At 623-349-6400. Now, close this here. Now, next exhibit. Let me stop this banner here and click off here. Let's see here. So what happened? Let me bring up exhibit B here. Let's see here. Here we go. And we'll bring this over. Enlarge it and hit play here. Give it a second here. I had it on standby. It should automatically spool up. Well, give it a couple more seconds. If not, I'll re-bring it up on a different screen and try it, ladies and gentlemen.
24-year-old Daniel 24-year-old Dan Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona. Nearly a month later, Daniel's Jeep was found in a ravine approximately 4 miles from where he was last seen, and police say that the vehicle appeared to have rolled and landed
Apologize about it buffering. I don't know why.
on its side. Daniel's clothes, his cell phone, wallet, his keys, they were all found at the scene, and police foul play is not suspected, but Daniel's family says otherwise. Joining us now is his family. We have Daniel's father, David Robinson, and Daniel's brother, Roger Colley Robinson. I want to thank you both for coming on this morning to talk about Daniel. And I do just want to start first, David, and then Roger, if you can tell me a little bit about your baby brother. But David, tell me about your son.
Thank you for bringing us on, Brianna. Daniel, he's a very outspoken guy from his childhood. Daniel, he's always challenged everything. He challenged siblings. He want to outdo them academically. Everybody knows that Daniel's been born without a right hand. He never let that stop him. He done everything from learning how to play a French horn. He learned how to play the trombone. When he got into college, he sought out to be a geologist, and he pursued his dreams, and he accomplished those goals. Graduated with honors. He also is a friendly guy. He always have friends. The College of Charleston down there, I've seen so many of his friends that love him. Daniel's a guy that loves to travel. He spent times with his friend on traveling. He's loved nature. He liked to do hiking. Once he got out here to Phoenix, he liked to hike. He liked to travel, like I say, see nature. And he loved his career as a geologist. He liked to collect his rocks. He has a rock collection. But most of all about Daniel, he's a person that like to bring people together. And even in this moment when he's not here with us, he's bringing everyone together right now. So that's the type of person that Daniel is.
I will tell you, I have been reading about your son, and I have been so impressed by him and what a special person he clearly is. Your baby brother, Roger.
Yes.
And I just wonder, right now authorities are saying that there is no foul play suspected. That's not what your tell us of this.
Well, there's too many things that's going on with this case. From the beginning, from a family standpoint, Daniel, he would never do anything, outside of telling his family. The first indication that I thought that was very strange with Daniel is, after 6 hours not hearing from him at all, he either would call his siblings, his mom, or myself. He let somebody know where he's gone. But once Daniel became missing, and we realized that, I think the quick action wasn't there quick enough, first of all. But then when, that caused me to have to do my own searching and things like that. But once his vehicle was found and the way it was found, it just didn't look right. It didn't sit right with me. That's why I ended up getting my own private investigator. And from that point, everything that was found from that point indicates that, we need to look a little farther than just saying he's just missing.
Roger, the Buckeye police say that the case remains open and active. They say currently we are consulting outside experts for enhanced analysis of the data from Daniel's vehicle. We are also asking anyone with information to please contact investigators. What do you think, Roger, about what police are doing and where this investigation into your brother's disappearance, where it stands?
From what I'm getting from this, I feel that they're trying to do what's right at this point, but I feel that it's a little too late. Like my father said, had they been quick about it in the beginning, we wouldn't be here 3 months later, still searching for my brother and still looking for answers. I think my sister that lives in Arizona and my father did a lot in the beginning, trying to push and get things moving, pleading with the police, you know, begging for them, hey, can you help us get a search? Can we do an air search? Can we get something? And I just think the lack of action initially is what's leading us here. And now they're having to backtrack and try to bring in outside sources to help search for my brother.
So, ladies and gentlemen, clear my screen and come back. So, what do y'all think? What do you think happened? Do you think that he got just heartbroken because he went a little too far and the girl didn't want him? He heartbroken because he wanted something and he couldn't have it? Something happened. I mean, because the girl filed a police report allegedly, right? You know, but the vehicle, the disappearance, the deletion of pictures on social media, brings up you see, that's one thing, Roger. I was looking if they did. So and that's why, you know, when I said that in the beginning, you know, when they said that the person was wearing the seatbelt, they had to use the, and when they said the ignition was turned over 46 times more, and then there was 11 miles the vehicle drove. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the vehicle anymore, the insurance can get your vehicle information. So if you have a car wreck these days on newer vehicles, and you're just like, oh, I'm doing 50 miles an hour and I hit my brakes and I use my turn blinker, and ladies and gentlemen, anymore, they can just plug into your vehicle's computer and the vehicle will tell you your speed, if you hit your brakes and all that other stuff, your blinkers, your brakes, all that stuff. Your vehicle will tell you just like your cell phone. I think Rebecca just said that, more information on the girl. And I would like to have more information on her too. The police report that I've seen on the alleged girl allegedly filed was redacted quite a bit. Some information a lot of it was blacked out, and it is available online. So, oh, thank you, Catherine. Let me make sure and hit that banner up again since I took it down. Yeah, please, if you don't mind, if you're not a subscriber, make sure and hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Greatly appreciated. Much love. Nanaboss, maybe he was just completely distraught overall and took his own life via the car. Well, something was on his mind very heavily and on his heart, evidently, sitting over his sister's house in silence for 30 minutes. So something's happened. I don't know. Maybe he woke up and maybe he decided, I don't know. I could be totally wrong. This is my assumption. Maybe he's like, man, I'm really screwed up. Now I got the police on me for showing up at this girl's house that I thought maybe she had something. And then maybe, he was picking up wrong feelings, and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, things like that happen. We are too friendly with somebody and they get the wrong things, the wrong emotions, or the wrong feelings, or the wrong vibes. I don't know. But in the middle of the desert, well, yeah, where could you go? I mean, so that is true. So I don't know. But hey, Missy, welcome to the show. And that's probably why, excuse me, let me mute myself here while I clear myself. There we go. Maybe that's why that there was probably a delay in the police or the authorities looking into the case, is because of what they had prior information in on the case, right? And they're like, well, this is what we have so far, and I'm just thinking logically. I'm not saying that this is what happened, and that could possibly play a factor in leading into them, not jumping on something. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not the agency involved or anything like that. But Nana Boss, not sure. Brian doesn't sound like he was the type to walk away from his family, but I'll tell you this. I have seen people that have done certain things that they never before because of their heart being broken. Because they thought they had the woman of their dreams and whatnot. Or they thought that somebody loved them or they were in love. So I don't know. So Brian says my dad ended his life over divorce. It was planning ahead. I'm sorry to hear that. I think most of us leave a note or hindsight by family. And this is what's strange. Hey, Caroline. Which was strange is the deletion of some of the pictures on his social media. So there are subtle hints and clues, and just keep and think about that. Subtle hints and clues, him acting strange at work, around family members, sitting on the couch. So these are red flags and indicators. So those things we have to keep in mind, so something was going on inside of him. What it is, we don't know. So, Crazy Witch, everything about this story just feels off to me. I don't know. I just can't put my finger on it. It is. It's in, but when I did, he was a geologist and then he delivered groceries. He was one of those cart living people. So he delivered, like, for Kroger's, Giggy Pig or Wiggy Piggy Wiggy or, Winn Dixie or whatever you call them. They deliver groceries and food in a geologist. So that's what he did. And that's how he met that girl, because she invited him in because she said he seemed friendly, and evidently they exchanged phone numbers. So, and from the police reports that I've seen and from what's been reported, that he showed up to her house several times unannounced, and he told her, or she told him, to stop, and evidently he didn't, and the police got involved again or something. So yeah, it was Instacart. That is correct, Brian. Instacart. I'm sorry. Thank you. Instacart, not car delivery. Yeah, Instacart. Did I say car delivery? I meant Instacart. Yes. So, but if people, and I've seen this, and we see this, in no disrespect to anybody in this family, in this situation, directed towards the Robinsons at all. Let me make this perfectly clear once again. Grizzly is making a comment not directed towards the Robinsons family, friends, anybody associated to the Robinsons. This is a statement in general. I have seen people that have done stuff when it comes to people that has not been in relationships, that want relationships, We have seen it in in crime stats, statistics, if I can say it, that shows that what happens when something doesn't go their way, or they do things, stalking, whatever you call it, social media stalking. So, and this is why we have to monitor our children, because of, people out there on the internet. I'll never forget, my oldest daughter, when she was younger, I walked into the dining room, or it was the office, and she was on the computer, and this was, golly, I don't know, 18, 16, 17 years ago. And back then they had a virtual chat room, and they were like, and she was talking to somebody, and it was like an older guy, and I damn near ripped the computer off out of the wall. And back then I think it was a dial up. It wasn't like DSL or anything then, but it was actually longer than that ago. But yeah, but we don't know, so I don't know what happened. So my heart does go out to the family and friends of Daniel Robinson. Nobody has seen him, but I will say this: if we look at the positive side, unrequired love, yeah, lots of crimes, and so yes, that is correct, Missy Juju. That is correct. But if we look at the positive side, there were other remains found during the search, and hopefully it solved some other crimes and closure to other families, hopefully. So, but at this point, we'll do our natural protocol, and we'll take this photograph of Mr. Robinson, and we'll forward it to the people with abilities, to the panel, and give it to them right after the show, and we'll bring it up on next week's show, and bring them on and see what they come up with. And thank you to Summer for bringing this case forward. And if you have a case that you would like for me to review and possibly to have on the show, you can email me, or you can send it to me on Facebook Messenger at Grizzly Chris, or you can email it right there at grizzlytruecrimes@gmail.com. Send me pictures or newspaper clippings or links to the newspaper clippings on any unsolved cases or missing people cases, like everybody else does. And I'll be more than happy to review them and take a look. That's how I get some of the cases, or most of the cases we look at. She rejected him. He kills himself, but kept trying to start the car. Does explain that. I don't know. I don't know. Did he try to, and then he was like, I made a mistake, and then he just freaked out and tried to start the car, and then just take off walking, and that was it in the middle of the desert. I don't know. Rebecca, that's a good point. So, but if you have a case that's in your local area, or a case that you like me to look at, feel free to send it to me on Facebook Messenger, Grizzly Chris. Let me know about it. Give me some back history, some of it, where I can look at it, or you can send it to my Gmail account, and I will review it. If I don't get to it right away, I still will respond to you and let you know I did receive it. And if I have to, we'll put it in line with other cases. But I did want to take this case on because it was very intriguing and very sad at the same time. But I want to thank Summer for bringing this forward. But we'll see what happens on the next show, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for tuning in. And from coast to coast and around the world, that's a wrap. And Godspeed. And we'll see you on the next show. Take care. Bye-bye.